Hey guys, thank you for listening here again. A's channel here. Talk about a little about we already talked about the basically about marijuana being global and Mexico. So we're gonna talk about the investment and the private investment that needs to happen in Mexico to make a big impact in the marijuana sector, right? So at the end of the day, how is that going to work and how is that going to develop? And this is my research. This is for my opinion, what I see, what I see from reports and what's going on in other sectors that leads up to the consensus of what's going on in Mexico, because of personal experiences and news. So basically, we know that Mexico is marijuana is legal. So they have implemented limited medical use in 2017. They also put regulations, limitations on what you could do with marijuana, grower, research, import, all these things. I've made a video about it, so you should just go on it and find it. But I'm not going much into that because we're talking about more about the issues about foreign investment in Mexico and why it's so difficult to invest there and the current issues in place. So basically, we know this is going on marijuana, so that needs to what have some type of infrastructure. So at the end of the day, they could grow and make this possible, correct? Because without infrastructure, you can't sustain growth and scale. So, but how is that going to happen? You have to put a lot of money into warehousing, greenhousing, all this kind of thing, so that you could grow, correct? There's already that in place in Mexico, but other foreign investments like other companies like TLRY, Aurora, or all these companies that want to move in there, they have to do their their due diligence and also put money up front, big money. So at the end of the day, that will happen. Like for example, a paving a way for heavy international investment. So how is that going to affect Mexico with the current situation? Let's take a look. Because marijuana, you need infrastructure, you need it. And what's going on in Mexico right now? We have big issues. And I'm not sure if you guys know, but back then in the days, there was a reform of energy, meaning that Pemex still controls most of the market, Mexico, but there was reform. But then the new administration came in and changed all all this the current past laws, and now there was foreign investment in that sector, and now that might go away. For example, says nobody is going to want to invest their solid and firm guarantee of rule of law, meaning that Mexico is over changing what they say just because at the end of the day there's a new party, right? So and there's a lot of companies that invested millions of dollars in the energy sector and like in gas and diesel and gasoline and crude that they have taken a hit. That's why Mexico reform sparked a wave of lawsuits. Let's take a look. The Mexico Chamber expects a wave of international arbitration lawsuits coming a week after Mexico enacted this week a law of favors of the CFE, the state owned generation company, over private firms. Mexico already has pushed recent weeks a new law for the country electricity, which strengthens state control over the power generation sector by promoting by prom man, let's cut it out. By promoting state-owned companies, the CFE. Says the anti-regular Mexico said last month it recommends to lawmakers not to approve the law because it will seriously determine the competition of electricity generation and sales of market. It appears there will be a wave of constitutional injunctions of the president of ITC Mexico. And basically, what's going on is this guy is trying to change everything that it was before, and now he wants to put the monopoly back again, the CFE. The basically the state own electricity generation, like basically almost here like the southern for us is SoCal. Almost so in the U.S. also told them that it was Warren and Ferry that then proposed reform to Mexico electricity industry law could create a monopoly and violate Mexico commitments under the after USMCA agreement. Basically, if they do this, they're gonna get in big trouble. They are because they're breaking a lot of laws, you could say, or agreements they already agree with U.S. So, and this is what I mean about private investment in Mexico, that you can't really trust Mexico. Why? Because there's no what guarantee of rule of law, and that's the problem. because if basically whoever comes into place next 3 years in Mexico, and then they're just gonna change the games, and that's why when an investor once they invest is for 10, 20, even for 30 years, that they're gonna know they're gonna get their investment back. But investing in Mexico is like a whole, they just burn money there, and that's why a lot of big companies have not done that. Why? Because for the same reason, because they don't know what's going on. They don't know, and this is we've seen this coming down the pipe when Obrador actually took power. So, and all this is coming to fruition on his third year already, and it's creating a little of unconcerning in Mexico for investing money in Mexico. Why? Because at the end of the day, who wants to invest in Mexico that you know that your money is not safe? There's no way, like me, even that I invest, I just, like, at the end of the day, I just don't want to put money out there because damn, you can't even get it back. Even says right here, the government of Mexico that undermined the confidence of foreign investors in the country at the price moment enhanced the foreign direct investment in Mexico is needed more than ever. See, that's what I mean. Like, they don't care. Like, they it's almost like if they don't care about their economy, they care more about what they think and what they want to do instead of interests of others, right? And other countries. So that's why Mexico is very, very controversial in foreign investments. And right now, especially with this guy in place, there's no really trust in there. So for me, in marijuana sector, there's not going to be a heavy international investment in Mexico. There's not. Probably there's going to be like just growing growers. Like, for example, like, okay, I have like 20 growers that grow for me. I buy them and import, right? That's it. Let's say I'm a big company. Let's say I'm a big company that distributes in the U.S., so I just get growers that grow for me and they import it over here. That type of placement of the agreements. Why? Because there's low risk and you just don't put nothing out there, right? For the same reasons, because at the end of the day, Mexico has no commitment of guarantee a law that whoever money I'm gonna put out there, like, it's gonna be safe. Like here, if I buy a house, I know I can get it back, right? If I buy a car, this is about a car, right? So, but this is not. So then that day, you gotta really like see all this, and it's not gonna. That's how it's gonna reform in Mexico. That type of structure of just having growers growing and importing to the U.S. That's gonna be the deal. And this is basically my opinion. This is not guaranteed. This is what I see and what I hear from personal experience. But if you do like the video, you can go ahead and subscribe, like the channel, like the video, dislike it, and thank you for listening.